Never stay in a relationship where you have to slowly kill parts of yourself just to keep it alive. If you've been feeling lost, confused, or drained, there's a reason. And today, we're going to talk about the signs that most people ignore until it's too late. Love is supposed to make you grow. It's supposed to lift you. But when love starts to feel heavy, when it starts to feel like a weight on your chest instead of warmth in your heart, something is wrong. And even though letting go feels scary, staying in the wrong relationship can quietly damage your confidence, your peace, and your future. Today, we're breaking down 10 clear signs that it may be time to walk away. Not because you gave up, but because you finally chose yourself. Here's the truth most people don't admit. People don't leave relationships when the love is gone. People leave when the pain becomes louder than the memories. Most people stay far longer than they should, hoping, wishing, trying, until one day they look in the mirror and barely recognize who they've become. This video is for anyone who feels stuck between fear and hope, between holding on and letting go. If you've been searching for clarity, you're about to get it. Let's break this down, starting with the first sign. 1. You sacrifice your personal values and become someone you're not. This is one of the biggest red flags, but also one of the quietest. You don't lose yourself all at once. You lose yourself in small moments. You stop speaking up. You stop doing things you love. You stop setting boundaries. You stop being honest about your feelings. And slowly, your world starts shrinking. Not because you want it to, but because you're afraid they'll leave if you stay true to who you are. A healthy relationship never requires you to hide parts of yourself. You shouldn't have to shrink just to fit into someone else's comfort zone. When you start turning into a version of yourself that feels unfamiliar, that's not love. That's losing yourself. 2. Your trust is continuously broken. Trust isn't just about cheating. Trust is about consistency. It's about honesty. It's about reliability. If you constantly catch them lying, big lies or small lies, it adds up. When someone keeps breaking promises, giving excuses, hiding things, or making you question your own intuition, they are slowly destroying the foundation of everything you are trying to build. Trust doesn't break in one moment. It breaks in layers. And once it's gone, the relationship becomes a guessing game you never asked to play. You start checking their phone, you start feeling anxious, you start thinking too much, you start doubting yourself. A relationship without trust becomes a battlefield, and you cannot build a peaceful life in a war zone. 3. Staying in it shatters your spirit, brings you down, and leaves you frustrated. There's a difference between normal relationship problems and emotional damage. If you wake up feeling tired before the day even starts, if your chest feels heavy when their name pops up on your phone, if being around them drains you instead of energizes you, that's not a relationship, that's emotional exhaustion. Love should feel like support, not suffocation. You shouldn't feel like you're walking on eggshells. You shouldn't feel scared of being misunderstood. You shouldn't feel like you're begging for basic respect. If staying with someone hurts more than leaving them, that's your answer. 4. You feel inferior. A relationship should make you feel valued, not small. If your partner makes you feel like you're not smart enough, not attractive enough, not good enough, not capable enough, that's not love. That's emotional manipulation. And sometimes they don't even say it directly. They say things like, "You're too sensitive. You're overthinking. You're lucky I'm with you. No one else will handle you." These words are designed to lower your self-esteem so you never feel strong enough to leave. But here's the truth. Real love uplifts. Real love pushes you higher. Real love makes you feel seen, heard, and worthy. If your partner makes you feel inferior, you're already losing parts of yourself. 5. You justify that it's worth holding on when it's really not. You keep giving excuses. Maybe things will get better. They're stressed right now. This is just a phase. We had good times before. I don't want to start over. You begin to cling to memories instead of reality. You convince yourself that leaving is failure. You try to make the relationship look better in your head than it actually is. But here's the painful truth. You shouldn't have to constantly convince yourself that your relationship is worth saving. Healthy relationships don't need constant explaining. Unhealthy ones always do. When your excuses become louder than your happiness, it's time to be honest with yourself. 6. You can't remember the last time you were happy. Think for a moment. When was the last time you genuinely felt safe, loved, and peaceful in this relationship? If the only time you feel happy is when you're imagining a future that never comes, that's not happiness. That's hope disguised as reality. A relationship isn't supposed to be a long-term project full of waiting and disappointment. It should bring comfort, not confusion. If you can't remember the last time you felt happy with them, maybe you're staying because you're scared of what comes next, not because the relationship is still alive. 7. You find that you're always the one making sacrifices. Every relationship needs compromise. But compromise is supposed to go both ways. If you're always the one adjusting, apologizing, fixing, repairing, forgiving, and holding everything together, that isn't compromise. That's imbalance. You cancel your plans. You bend your boundaries. You soften your voice. You lower your needs. You put your life on hold. And while you do all of that, they keep choosing themselves. Love is a bridge, not a one-way street. If the effort only comes from you, the relationship becomes a burden instead of a bond. 8. You refuse to acknowledge the present because it hurts too much. Sometimes the truth is so painful that your brain starts protecting you from it. You stop looking at the reality and start living in imagination. You think about how things used to be. You dream about how things could be. You replay the good memories so you don't have to face the present. But the present matters, because the present is where you actually live. When you're ignoring the truth because it's too painful to admit, when you're avoiding all the signs because they hurt too much to face, that's a sign the relationship is already breaking. 9. There's inconsistency. Every single time. Love without consistency becomes confusion. One day they're warm, next day they're cold. One moment they say they love you, next moment they act like you don't matter. They make promises they never keep, they pull you close, then push you away. They give you just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to make you secure. This cycle is dangerous because it feels like love on some days and heartbreak on others. And your brain gets addicted to the highs and lows. But consistency isn't a luxury. It's a requirement. If someone loves you, you won't have to question their intentions every day. If their behavior feels like a roller coaster, you're not in love. You're in emotional chaos. 10. You've already exhausted all your efforts, but everything stays the same. This is the point most people don't want to reach. You try, you communicate, you compromise, you give more, you sacrifice, you wait, you hope, you hold on. But nothing changes, because relationships don't survive on effort alone. They survive on mutual effort. It shouldn't feel like you're the only one fighting. It shouldn't feel like you're dragging the relationship forward while the other person stands still. When you have done everything you can, and the relationship still feels heavy, confusing, or painful, the problem is not your effort. The problem is the connection itself. Sometimes letting go isn't the sad ending you think it is. Sometimes it's the beginning of finding yourself again. Here's the truth most people avoid. Staying in the wrong relationship steals years from your life. It steals your confidence, your joy, your clarity, your peace. You don't heal by holding on. You heal by letting go of what hurts you. People think letting go is losing. But actually, letting go is choosing yourself, choosing your future, choosing your peace, choosing your worth. Love shouldn't cost you your identity. Love shouldn't feel like pain with short breaks in between. Love shouldn't make you forget who you are. If these signs spoke to you, even one of them, it means a part of you already knows the truth. And sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that save you. Love is supposed to lift you up, not break you down. A healthy relationship brings out your best, not your weakness. It makes you feel safe, not scared. It makes you feel seen, not ignored. It makes you feel valued, not replaceable. If you saw yourself in these signs, remember this. You deserve peace. You deserve stability. You deserve love that doesn't hurt. You deserve someone who chooses you every day, not only when it's convenient. Letting go doesn't mean you failed. It means you finally realized you deserve better.